Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. I got a call the other day from somebody being really nice. They said, Walker, I listen to your podcast all the time. I look at your stuff on LinkedIn. I need your help. My whole company sucks at selling and we've got to fix it. I'm the owner, and so it's my decision, and I just want to know how much it costs and when we can get started. Wow, right? Boy, that sounds cool, right? And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds great. And then I realized there's something wrong. There's always something wrong when somebody calls and is nothing but positive. Have you ever had that experience, right? Where somebody calls and like, I'm ready to buy. It's finally time. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Money's no object. You know, whenever somebody says money's no object, right? You know what's going to be the problem? Money. Of course it is. Same is true with a positive prospect. When they're coming in hot, they're ready to go. It's time to move forward. There's always a problem. And so our job as people who are responsible for spending our own time, how we spend it, I want you to be the most careful with the person who comes in optimistic, ready to roll, 100%, let's go. You're going to waste the most time there. There are two reasons for this. One, I think I just mentioned this, there's always a damn problem. There's always a damn problem. They've just gotten run off by somebody else, right? They ain't got no money, or they don't really understand what it means to hire you or to buy what it is you buy, or they got fired by their last guy because they're a pain in the ass for whatever reason. Now, I'm not saying this attributed to the person that called me, but there was a problem. So here's what we have to do as salespeople who are solely responsible for our own time. Nobody else responsible for our own time but us. It's as you've heard over and over again, the most precious resource. We'll never, ever, ever duplicate it or get it back. Here's what we have to do when somebody calls in positive. Every fiber in your being is screaming, this one's different. I don't have to do that stupid shit Walker talks to me about because this one's a layup. They're giving me all the buying signals. Here's a side bubble. There are no freaking buying signals. I'm sorry, there's only one damn buying signal. That is when somebody hands you a check and the check is cleared. Until that time, there are no buying signals. That's just bullshit that salespeople tell themselves so they can quit working, right? When somebody calls you hot, I want you to slow them down. This person calls me and I said, wow, that is so great. I am so glad you think I can help you. You know what, though? At this point, I don't know if I am the right guy to help you. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? And there was silence over the phone. And the person said, yeah, that would be great. Right? Which to me meant, yeah, please help me understand. He wasn't pissed off. He wasn't mad. He just said, yeah, that would be great. Because people that come in hot, they often know they're going too fast. They know they don't know everything. Sometimes they call and are so positive because you're just going to get pumped for free information. Sometimes they really are sincere about jumping right in. But either way, our job is to slow them down. Hey, man, so glad to hear you want some help. I don't know if I'm the right guy to do it or not. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Sure. First question I asked, why do you think you need sales training in the first place? Well, we're just not doing the stuff that you talk about. We're wasting a bunch of time with people. Easy to jump there. But I said, really, can you give me an example of that? And he gave me an example about one of their sales guys went out and the buyer said, just give me a proposal, right? They spent 2.5 hours creating a proposal, which is a long damn time in their world, and took it back. And the guy said, holy shit, I don't want to spend this much money. I said, yeah, that's a pretty good example. How often does that happen? He said, well, it probably happens all the time. I said, so now that we're talking about this, do you know how much money we're talking about spending here if you and I were to work together? He said, no, I figure I better ask you that. And I said, yeah, let's talk about it now. Suppose I told you, I don't know, depending on your size of your organization, somewhere between $20,000 and $100,000 in a year, maybe more. Any reason we should keep talking? He said, $20,000 to $100,000. I said, yeah. He goes, oh, hell no, I can't spend that. And I said, great. I understand. It's okay. I'll close your file. Hey, now that it's over, John, do you mind if I ask you a question? What do you think it costs you every time somebody does a proposal that doesn't get picked? And we talk through that, right? And how many salespeople are doing that? And how often does that happen? We came up with a number. He figured it's $10,000 to $12,000 a month. I said, I'm not very good at math. Tell me what that means in a year. He said, it'd be $120,000, $140,000. I said, couldn't be that much. He said, no, I bet it's more. I said, is that big of a deal? He said, you're damn right it is. I said, wow, makes sense. Here's the thing. My guess is even if you believed I could fix that, you couldn't find the money to hire me. He said, no, if I believed you could, we could do that. I said, well, let's do this then. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a meeting and figure out whether or not it makes sense to do that. If I don't think it'll work, I'm going to be the first one to tell you. And if you're not completely comfortable with what we're talking about, I want you to tell me that. But just know if we come and sit down, we're deciding whether or not you spend somewhere between, I don't know, $20,000 to $100,000. You okay having that conversation? He said, yeah. Here's the thing. People that come in hot, that are very positive, doesn't mean they're bad people. Doesn't necessarily mean they've been run off. What it often means is they don't know how to buy from you, and it's not their responsibility to know how to buy from you. It's our responsibility as salespeople to protect our time and to help our prospects buy if it's the right fit and to help them move on somewhere else if it's not. We've got to be the most honest version of ourselves. And as soon as somebody calls and says, I'm ready to go, and you haven't fully qualified them or you haven't even worked to disqualify them yet, the best thing you can do is tell them you're not sure you can help them, because that's the damn truth. Slow them down, ask them some questions, figure out what's really going on. Sometimes you've got to end the sales call before you really start the sales call. Take it to no, and then say, now that it's over, can I ask you a couple of questions? That's when the best sales calls start. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Go do your best. Be skeptical. Work really hard. Make people prove to you or dig in deep enough to know why somebody's desperate to work. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.